having been in the field, seeing all that you've seen, and then you come back to the United States. I mean, I don't want to skip over the ministry part. I want to go back to it, but just for a moment, what were the lessons that you learned that you feel you need to communicate to the church in the West? Because the culture has shifted a lot in the last 20 years. It shifted while you were over there and while you were still in contact. It's a different thing to be in contact and then to experience it on a day by day basis. But what do you hope the church in the West can take away from what God showed you guys in the field?
I think she needs to grasp the joy of being a sender. We've already talked about that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
The needs are great, and we have the resources, we have the people, we have everything that the world needs. The church in the West can meet. I think another lesson we've learned is that the church, wherever she is in the world, doesn't know everything.
Mm.
She has blind spots. She has things that she's not learned. But if we look at the body of Christ globally, she's beautiful.
Mm.
And so we have a
Right.
lot to learn from our Chinese brothers and sisters, our Russian brothers and sisters, those who are in places of deep persecution like Yemen and Eritrea and Afghanistan, those places. We can learn from each other, I think. And the lesson I try to share with every church we go to is that there's no such thing as a free church and a persecuted church. She's just the church. And she's always persecuted and she's always free. And if we grasp that, we can celebrate. And as we celebrate, we help believers in persecution celebrate. And when they're being persecuted and they're being hurt, we can feel that pain. And so the connection is huge, but I don't think we've grasped how much we are part of that body. I think another thing that really bothers me is as we worship, often it's just a routine. We don't do it because it's something that is a gift. And Nick likes to say we think we can do it 1 hour a week and we're all fixed up. And worship is something we need to be doing all the time in our homes and among our children as we're driving. If we can worship and do it continually, we're going to see God transform our church and transform us, because that's what he wants is our worship and our praise. A lesson that I learned from the believers in persecution that is hard is that no matter where I am, no matter what I'm doing, I can glorify God. And my goal for each day is to wake up and say, I'm going to glorify you today. And whether I share you, Christ, or I fail to share you, will you remind me at the end of the day if I glorified you? And so that's the lesson we need to realize is that believers in persecution, they say, if I'm in prison, if I'm being beaten, if I'm locked in a room in my Father's house because I'm a believer, my whole purpose is to glorify God. And if they can do it there, I should be able to do it right here where I live in America.